People say sometimes you're too nice, too soft, too naive. And for years, I thought that's who I was. Until I understood that being too nice is often not kindness. It's a trauma response. Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Born to Shine. I am Salma Sharif Khalifi, an emotional and empowerment coach. I help women who struggle with self-doubt, lack of confidence, to reconnect with their inner strength and to step into their fullest empowered expression of who they are. So through a blend of coaching, positive psychology, inner wisdom, and lived experience, I teach women how to stop abandoning themselves so they could live boldly. All right, let's dive into our subject, being excessively nice, because that's who I was. I was too nice. I didn't want to upset anyone. I was too nice. I couldn't assert myself so others could speak louder than me. I was too nice. I didn't want people to be jealous of me. I was too nice. I didn't want to take up more space to not bother anyone by stealing theirs. So I kept shrinking myself, dimming my light, playing small, so no one could be threatened by my presence. I don't know if you see yourself into what I'm describing or if that resonates with you, but this is not love. This is self-erasure disguised as kindness. I realized everyone loved the nice version of me without it being really who I was. So no one really knew who I was. And then I asked myself, until when do I need to keep pretending to be someone I am not? That's when I said enough. Let's set the record straight. Let's stop hiding out of fear of being rejected. Let's stop pretending to be someone I'm not. And let's start honoring myself, embracing myself, my talents, my gifts, my presence, my soul, my purpose, my light, and start shining out of love of being me. Here's what I want you to understand. Being excessively nice, being too nice is not kindness. It's self-erasure disguised as self-protection. It's a nervous system strategy that started in childhood. Back then, you stayed nice to stay safe, to avoid conflict, to keep the peace, to not be rejected. Because your mind and body believe that by being a people pleaser, you would keep the peace and you would be safe and you would not be rejected and you would feel accepted this way. There comes a moment when you have to ask yourself, do I want to be accepted or do I want to be respected? Acceptance is what you get when you conform. Respect is what you earn when you tell the truth. When you chase acceptance, you lose yourself. But when you own your voice, you become more magnetic. You become authentic. And yes, sometimes that shift looks messy. After years of suppressing my truth, I didn't understand why I was always swinging between the two extremes. I was either too nice or too aggressive, too soft or too harsh. Because when you silence your voice, it comes out in ways you don't like. It comes out like fire. Because your memory is remembering all the times you were lying to yourself, all the times you wanted to say no when you really wanted to say yes. So your brain is always recording, saving, storing those memories in the back of your unconscious mind. And as a result, you get this type of reactions that comes out unexpectedly. Your nervous system is paying the price this way. But hey, the good news is that when you become conscious about it, it's easier then to balance between being kind and being clear, being compassionate and being firm, being soft and yet being powerful. So before I share with you how to rewire these patterns, I feel like it's very important to redefine what kindness really means. Politeness is social training. Niceness is acceptance seeking. We have kindness, which is demonstrating genuine care. And then we have compassion, which is empathy, but with boundaries. And when you really notice those moments when you are polite, when you are nice, when you are kind, it becomes a compass for you. And that definition of each word is like a needle that shows you what's right. So now, how to break and how to release and rewire this pattern? Well, it's all about consciousness. Being conscious is the first step. And the second step is you notice the moments you shrink. You notice the moments where guilt becomes your decision maker. You notice those moments where your voice softens to not upset anyone, and then you practice your truth in small doses. Remember, everything is about finding this balance between kind and clear. It's about finding this sweet spot so that your reaction would not be excessive. And yes, so if you nod a lot, it means you seek approval, right? You want others to validate you. When you say sorry a lot, you could say no without over-apologizing. Notice when you speak. You could speak but without over-explaining everything, right? And also notice how you are standing. Is your chest open or is all your body collapsed? Body language is real and says a lot about the non-verbal communication. But most of all, take up more space to train your nervous system to feel that it is safe to fully exist being you. That's how you stop being a people pleaser. If you have been the nice one all your life, I see you. You were not weak. You were surviving, avoiding to be rejected for acceptance. But love doesn't require you to disappear. You will not lose love, I promise you. You will finally gain yourself. You will finally reveal yourself and be you. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let this message be a permission to rise fully. And if you want more emotional tools and weekly reminders, you could subscribe to my weekly and free newsletter. I send an email each Friday where I share my inner thoughts, inner reflections about various subjects. And tell me in comments if you recognize yourself in what I'm saying. If you're like a people pleaser, if you've been a people pleaser, if you know what it feels to be too nice. I want to know, are you too nice? You feel it's a habit you couldn't break? Yeah, I would love to know about this. All right. Thank you so much for listening. This was your reminder that you don't need to be excessively too nice to be loved. You just need to be you. You were born to shine.